as we deliberate on issues to make the agri sector, specifically the smallholder contribution to farming, very effective, very relevant, let's think about how we can also play our role. Yes, it's easy for us to point accusing fingers, but what's our role in this chain? What should we do? What must we do? So that you can ask yourself, 20 years from now, are we going to be the same as we are in food production? Or we are going to be better off or worse off? Will we still be here 20 years from now? Or will be better off or worse off? So we are kicking off this part of the conversation with remarks from Nana Osei Bonsu, who is the CEO of PEF. Let's welcome him.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wearing a different cap now, not a chair, but the representative of the Federation, which is the Business Council, involved in all sectors of the economy, including agriculture. And personally, I have had the experience of financing an outgrower nucleus farmer arrangement producing sorghum for Ghana Guinness Brewery for about 4 years. So I know the dealings with smallholder farmers, their constraints, challenges, and also their technical skills. Because the farmer's business, and please let's always think that a smallholder farmer is a business person. They are in a farming to sell. They are small micro businesses that need different handling, different capacities, different technical skills to be able to work with them and for them to also exceed in what they want to do. So the farmer's knowledge and information is limited. He may know how to plant, how to harvest, but then the market is a different ballgame. And also, the agronomics that go to make their farming a little more efficient sometimes elude them. We've been farming, or the smallholder farmers in Ghana have been farming the same ways for 100 years. That's what they inherited from their parents, their grandparents, or their families. And so they believe that that's the only way they can do. The challenge, let's start with the land preparation. Cutlass and hoe, no mechanization. That limits the acreage that they can cover. Once they do that, the application of fertilizers. And I think that's an area where there's a lot of disagreement as to the use of fertilizers. Some don't believe in the chemical fertilizers that later on can be injurious to the soil that they're trying to enrich. Some believe that organic fertilizer may be the way to go. And some also believe that the chemical fertilizers sometimes hurt the soil. But the farmer has been given, and we heard this morning from the research, that they were given a bouquet of fertilizers. Sometimes they apply them, sometimes they transport them across the border and sell. So this smallholder farmer that the system is trying to capacitate or build their competence to do business and get the yields that we are all looking for to improve their livelihood, is now turning a blind eye to the support and selling it somewhere else for money. Different approach. Then the mechanization. The planting. Most farmers believe in broadcast planting. Boom. This way, that way. Then they spend money to wean off the excess plants that come out. That is at cost. And I started saying that the smallholder farmer is a business person. So for every business, you reduce cost. So if you take in seeds and broadcast planting, and then employ others to wean off or weed off the excesses, that's additional cost. We lead in this discussion or conversation to the point where the farmer becomes profitable. And if it's not profitable, he cannot continue business because his investment is finite. And the investment has to be able to generate enough returns for them to continue to do business. So now that they don't have mechanization, they do the broadcasts. Even the common planters, they don't have them. Then come the agronomics. And it's one season controlled by the good old presence of water from the heavens. No irrigation. And especially if you go through the 3 northern regions, there are a lot of vast areas without irrigation. And that not even river waters. But there are areas with irrigation. Does the farmer get the benefit of it? Or the cost of land in that irrigated area is so prohibitive that they cannot afford. So whilst they're trying to do their business, they're limited by a lot of these things. And so a farmer in Ghana, a smallholder farmer, is limited to one season. Now comes the harvesting. The harvesting methodologies, sometimes the farmer is lazy and he's delayed. There's a variety of soybean called Jankuma. And I think the people that speak the language understand what Jankuma means, wait for me. So instead of harvesting today, he waits another week because that one doesn't shatter. But it doesn't give you the yield. The one that gives you a better yield, you have to be attentive and harvest at the right times. So the yields don't come after harvest. Then come the big constraint. Storage. Where do they put the harvest? How do they store it? Do they pay money for the storage, or they store them in the backyard of their homes and subject to the benevolence of rains? When we talk about, Irene talked about post-harvest losses. Post-harvest losses don't start after harvest. They mostly start from planting season. The way you store the seeds, the agronomics, the planting methodologies, they contribute to post-harvest losses. And then the biggest constraint is access to market. Most of these farms are in areas where you don't have good roads. The rains come, the roads are bad, no vehicles, the bicycles can't reach that far, so they have limited access to market. The harvest cannot wait. They go bad because of the rains or because of the way they've been stored. So no access to market or limited access to market. And then when they have the benefit of traders coming there, the traders also travel wide and far. They have to make up for the difference. So instead of a bag for $100, they trade a bag for $50 to make up for the travel cost. So at the end of the season, the anticipated yield and income level the farmer was looking to reap doesn't materialize because of these constraints. These are historic. These are what we're talking about. But how do we address them? Because we can't be talking about the constraints and challenges forever without any avenues for, reforms and better ways of doing business. I heard this morning some of the research findings that some of the policies, or most of our policies, are geared towards helping the commercial farmer. I started by saying that the farmer's business is to grow and sell. So if the commercial farmer becomes the off-taker and provide the market and the avenues for better services, mechanization, high-yielding variety of seeds, access to market, then he's the biggest benefactor to the farmer. Because the farmer went into business to grow, and now he has an avenue where he can sell without exerting any pressure. But we always dismiss the commercial farmer thinking that they're taking advantage of the farmer, of the smallholder farmer. They're not, if they know what to do. And how does a smallholder farmer get to know what to do? Through their business associations. And that's how we have to capacitate the business association, which can handhold, and babysit these smallholder farmers, provide technical assistance, leveraging the capacity of the association to negotiate contracts for them. I started also by saying that I financed a sorghum project in the 3 northern regions for 4 years, and we never lost a penny. Because we had people that worked with the farmers. We even trained the farmers on little bookkeeping, how to spend their money. We made sure that harvesting is done at the right time. There must be discipline. And if the smallholder farmer is going to be able to do any meaningful supply chain relationship, observance of contract, quality control, you can't grow what you want. It got to be what the market wants. How many farmers here explore the possibility of the market before they grow? No. They go buy the seeds and grow and expect the season, at the end of the season, the market will be there. No business person is ever going to survive without assessing the capacity of the market to absorb their product. And somebody said this morning, when you have a business that have easy entry, anybody can get up tomorrow and become a farmer. And nobody can stop them. So there's competition for you every day. And to beat the competition, you have to be on top of your game. You have to also be able to do the right things that separates you from the other competition. So while we're looking at all these constraints, then the big animal, financing. How does the farmer get the money? The trade financing, the other forms of financing. But we always look to government to provide the funding. Government have limited resource, facing competition from different angles for that. So if you're a business person, then you have to look at partnerships. What's wrong in 2 farmers contiguous to each other, merging their farm and doing things? They come with different strengths and capacities. Somebody's good at cultivating, somebody's good at selling. But we always want to do individual businesses. Can we then combine and look at the association to bring together farmers within certain radiuses, within certain communities, to work together, and then in a value chain approach, provide that to the off-taker? How do we explore the markets? The executive director and I had traveled world over, and I think we had a discussion in Geneva some time ago about how do we get a contract to produce starch for China, if you recall that, Victoria. These are things business associations can do for you. An individual farmer, you are the mercy of anybody and the rains and everything else. So to get the knowledge, the technical skills, and to share in the experience and the exposure that everybody had gone through, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can learn from others' mistakes. So to me, one of the solutions is the business association, which by all means brought us all together. Because knowledge and information is critical in this business. How many farmers know there's a gadget that can predict rainfall 2 weeks ahead of time? How many farmers know where the next uh, repository is, so they can go even rent. And then how could we not have a cooperative in a warehouse receipt system where the farmers together put their use in the warehouse and then work with the bank that where they borrowed from, that take the guarantees and provide the leverage funding. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Because I don't want to be talking above your heads. I can speak Twi and make it a little meaningful to you, if you want me to. Is it possible? Should I? Okay. Akuafo saying na enim se sebi ekwan eba fa so ebenye sika e de ayefu. De bia e pese enko ayeye de enso ye ka bomu a yebetimi aye ne ye. Se nipa mienu ka bomu a we wo ahoden we wo ahoden we e de ya ebe ye. Eno na meka na asante se nipa pi so ha wo nti twi no nti esa na ha wono. So what we're saying is, let's explore solutions. We all know the challenges. We all know the difficulties. We can talk about the difficulties from now till heaven comes down. But solutions are the most important going forward. So my dear farmers, to me, it's getting together with your business association, empowering them to look in your interests. They can negotiate. They can bring your constraints to a level where the duty bearers will hear of the challenges and advocate for better reforms. The Private Enterprise Federation, of which I'm the CEO, realizing that the level of advocacy at the district level is very low, we did a pilot called the District Business Councils, bringing all the businesses in those three districts together to dialogue with the duty bearers, Nananom, the assemblies, the churches, and others, to let them know that this is us. We are the businesses in the community. If there's any opportunity, we have to get the first choice. We have to have the first option. And if we do it, and we do it better, the financial muscle accrues to the community. The purchasing power of this community increases. And that comes with development. We also want to use that as reverse migration. Because if the market grows, people from the community are not going to move to the metropolis. Because everybody wants to live within their community. And with that comes housing, comes schools, hospitals, and gradually the communities will grow. But unfortunately, when we did set up these business councils, the farmers have not been part of. Because the farmers consider themselves as limited in their exposure and that they're being helped by others. But believe me, you are your best help. Because you need information, you need a participation, you need the technical skills that can be built. For the past 3 weeks, the Federation had been conducting business capacity building across the nation. If you go to our website, www.pef.org.gh, you see a whole lot of training capacity building that costs $400, 400 cedis per person, free of charge, that we're offering. Within the next 2 weeks, we're going to do what we call virtual. You can sit in your home, get a laptop, and access that kind of capacity. The on-site one, we're holding that in Accra on April 4th. That will be the final for the on-site until we see the impact of the training on businesses. You are farmers, but you are business people. You invest money and you want returns. Seek various avenues that can enhance what you do so you can generate the returns that you're looking for. I'll stand down here and become the chair again until we can continue the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. He took off the chair, the hat of a chair, and put on the hat of a businessman. We'll also like to call on Mr. Edward Carraway, the General Secretary of the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, to give us his remarks and observation. Then we can move to the financial institutions available.
Good afternoon. I believe you are not sleeping. I saw some people eating banku and then fufu. Okay, so because so I'm now comfortable that you will not be sleeping. First and foremost, let me congratulate everybody who is here for this program, and also to congratulate the researchers for bringing out something that most of us either did not know about or were not so clear about it. And then also to thank the sponsors of this research, that is OSWA and then Oxfam. As a trade union, we are clear about what we want in life. We are looking for ways of doing things which are easier and better for the working people. We want to empower ourselves to be able to deal with duty bearers and policymakers. We also want to empower ourselves to know our rights, to know our duties, and then what to do at what time. As a trade union, our membership cuts across. But let me zero down to what the research indeed emphasized, and I was so much happy with. It shows me that there are two approaches. All along, the type of approach or the approach that we've been using in the past for agricultural development has been the production approach. So if you look at the current policies of government, planting for food and jobs and so on, all is assumed that, look, there's a shortfall in production. That could be true. But if you want to stem production, how do you stem production in our environment? And the research emphasized on market. You can introduce the production side approach to development if you have control over the market. So if you look at our past policies, particularly these current policies are similar to that of the 1970s policy, Operation Feed Yourself, and then Operation Feed Your Industry. At that time, market was not an issue for the country because the country could control its market, and the market was a closed economy. So if government applied that, they knew what the size of the market, and that whatever they produce here will be consumed by the market. So they also introduced the Operation Feed Your Industry. The income substitution approach. But if we are in a liberal economy today, that we are implementing liberal policies, First, we should try to use the market approach. Create the market, and people will automatically or by themselves produce. Many people have lost their incomes, particularly the research has shown that when it comes to tomatoes, you can lose up to 100%, nearly 100% of all your investment if you are harvesting at the time that there's no market. And within 2 weeks, when your tomatoes begins to ripe and you don't get the market, forget it. You are going to have what? Nearly 100% loss. Added tomatoes is capital intensive. You can make it and you can lose everything that you have put in it. So if we adopt the market approach, then producers will automatically produce to serve the market. But unfortunately, the market we are talking about, we don't control it. Whereas we are increasing our investment in production, we are also opening up our markets for inflows of cheap agricultural produce. Then it contradicts, it undermines all the efforts that we've been making in production. Now, the other aspect is that, we need to change our thinking. Ghana is middle income. We can't continue to do the things we used to do, yet we want new results. The smallholder farmer must be looked at as someone who has got rights. And then we, those who are in public office and public officials, must recognize that we have a duty. When sometimes you hear that we are supporting farmers, we are helping farmers, we want to help you with this, it's not a help. And we can understand in simple English. When it is a help, what does that mean? If I'm helping you, it means I can choose not to help you. If it's a help, it means you don't have right to it. If I'm supporting you, I can withdraw my support. But when you're a public officer and you're a policy maker in the public office, you don't treat the people you are making the policies for as if you are doing them a favor. That we want to support you, we want to help you. No. They have the right to produce what they want to produce, first and foremost. That must be recognized. That must be recognized that every farmer, the smallholder farmers, have the right to produce what they want to produce. 2, they have the right to produce and sell what they have produced. Now, if we are going to respect those rights, then we'll know that as public officials and public policy makers, we are performing a duty to them to make sure that they produce what they want to produce, they get the market that they want to have. If we look at it from that angle, we will not just sit down and look at and prepare other policies that allow an influx of anything at all into this country. But let me even say, I think that we are fortunate enough, we those in agriculture, that we still have a large percentage of what we consume in this country produced in this country. If you go to the other subsectors, almost everything is 100% imported. You can talk about the electronics, you can talk about the cars that we use here, almost 100% is imported into this country. But when it comes to agriculture, we still have a certain percentage of what we consume in this country also produced here. The other thing has to do with what would be more rational to a rational being. When you know very well that 80% of your domestic production is in the hands of the smallholder farmers. If that is the case, and you have to grow the agricultural sector, who must you target? Who must you target as a rational being? It is the smallholder farmer. But you see, sometimes when we talk about investments in the agricultural sector, what type of investment are we talking about? And who are we looking at? It is not the foreign investor. And I think that is the thing that we are looking at. And because I'm a trade unionist, I must just be clear. When you look at the private sector in Ghana, it is made up of foreign investment and then what? Local investment. So if you come to the agricultural sector, you have much of the investment in the agricultural sector being what? Local or smallholder investment. So you don't need to leave what is good, supporting what is good, growing what is good, than to look for the other part of it. So the first point of investment and support is a smallholder farmer. We just do not need to go further. When it is the other aspect of agriculture, that is tree agriculture or crop agriculture or plantation agriculture, it is largely dominated by foreign investment. But we all know what foreign direct investment does sometimes to this our economy. There are positives to it though, but in our case, the positives are minor. Why? Because there's capital flight. This country has never, fallen short of foreign direct investment. You look at the gold mines, up to over 90% of gold is owned, and then the money that is generated there is what? Repatriated. So again, if you invest in the smallholder, then you are investing in the direct beneficiaries of your investment. If you spend $1 $1, €1, whatever, you talk about it, on the smallholder farmer, you can be sure that 99% of that is directed at the one who actually needs it. And that if there are returns on that particular investment, again, you can have 0.00001% that will be repatriated. In fact, you can say that nothing of it will be repatriated. So you see, the full benefits will be accrued to your economy. So again, we have been told here that when it comes to extension services, there are positives. If you take the cocoa industry, once upon a time, the cocoa industry extension services was under the Ministry of Agriculture. We fought to have it separated. And today we are here to give testimony that the level of cocoa production, or if you go to the communities and you are talking about an extension officer, probably it is the cocoa extension officer who is around there. But those extension officers that come from Ministry of Agriculture, they are nowhere to be found. So the extension services is all about agriculture, particularly food crops. So if you take South Korea, they have developed a simple mechanism. The extension officer has got a pen. The pen records everything and can also take video. So as the farmer or the extension officer is on the field, recording the complaints of the farmers and supporting them, then it is recording and sending the data to a national center. So an extension officer cannot say, I've been to the field, when in actual fact you have not been to the field. But our story is not even about the technology, it's even about the fact that we don't have extension officers. And from Ministry of Agri own data that they bundle for us to hear, that up to 80% of the extension officers, that is about last year, will be going on retirement from last year 3 years. So if we are to, this year, it means they will have with 2 years or 1 year to go on retirement. 80% of the extension officers. What are we doing to make sure that we recruit all these extension officers? The 2017 budget, I just want to say, indicated that we had employed 2,700 extension officers. They said what? Extension personnel, not officers. For me, they are different. And the people they employed, we also know them from YEA. Some of them have submitted their appointment letters to us, and it was only 350 Ghana cedis, all inclusive. They are young men and women. You can't expect them to employ them and not give them the resources to take to the field to work. Yet again, we have agricultural training colleges. They are not part of the students who are benefiting from the what do they call allowance? Is it subsidy? Allowance. They are not benefiting from it. As for those who have been who have completed agri colleges and they are at home without jobs, they are not even employing them. Budget has not been made for them. All this is give a signal to us about which sector of the economy that government is actually emphasizing on. If government can go out and give allowance to nurses, give allowances to what? Teachers, trainees, and will not give allowances to training college students and trainees, what is the message? And yet, many people are running away from going into the training colleges for agriculture. So it's not about what you say, it's also about what you do. So on that score, we would like to call on government to re-examine the policy direction so that we can together grow agriculture and make agriculture the foundation for our economic transformation and development. If indeed that is what we are serious about, this is what, in our view, we should do. Thank you.
Yes, that gives us the opportunity to spend more time talking with our people. So my brother in yellow, the one I had to hold on till we go and come. So when you come here, you have maximum 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So you make your point. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, all protocols observed. I feel privileged. I'm Mr. Amwa from Begro. I feel privileged today to be part of this conference. I say so because, honestly speaking, there are a few faces around that I've been seeing on the telly. And fortunately for me today, I've seen those people. And I am just happy for seeing them. I am happy. And even last night, I saw a few of them, yeah, last night on the telly. So I feel glad, very happy. My first point is to the Minister of Agriculture. Last year, the inputs that were brought, when we talk about planting for food and agriculture, planting for food and jobs, it involves inputs. And last year, the inputs that were brought to Fantiakwa, to the best of my knowledge, they were deposited at one warehouse, one particular place. And proximity became a problem to the farmers. There were a lot of complaints that the farmers were willing to come for the inputs, but they couldn't do it because looking at where they lived and where they had to travel all the way to Begro town and then, convey these inputs to their various areas, they realized it was going to add cost to the input. So they refused to come for it. And this year, I believe the same thing is going to repeat itself. So if it is not too late, then the minister, you can communicate some information to the various districts so that I know as far as it's happening in Fantiakwa, it will be happening in other districts as well. This will enhance the productivity and we'll get more farmers involved in this program. Secondly, the fall armyworm. The chemicals that were brought last year. In fact, the invention was so great that the chemicals that were brought to assist the farmers control the insects, yes, the fall armyworm, were so small. The chemicals were not enough. In fact, because controlling fall armyworm is not a matter of maybe going to the farm for once, spray for once, and that will be all. You will have to control this right from when you plant and the crops emerge, you know, the moment they emerge, you have to begin spraying till maybe tasseling stage or that sort of. So without doing so much spraying, you are likely to fail. You are likely to fail. And even though the farm belongs to the farmer, I don't think they will be able to have enough money to buy chemicals right from germination to maybe tasseling stage. So I will also plead with the minister, if it will be possible, more chemicals must be brought to the district so that production, our productivity will increase in the country. Otherwise, we are likely to fail the planting for food and then jobs. Yeah, sorry, I beg you. And then the extension officers. I hear that the extension services is being controlled by Canadian government, and a lot of motorbikes have been released to be given to the extension officers. These motorbikes I hear are sitting in Accra. They are sitting in Accra, and when you go to my district, we have a lot of extension officers, but just 2 of them have motorbikes. How do you expect us to give out our we can't assist the farmers to their expectation. We can't do that. The extension officers cannot do that. So what I am saying is that why are the motorbikes sitting in Accra? They have been there for, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 years now. Yes, they are sitting in Accra. So we are pleading with the minister. If you want the extension officers to help the farmers to increase productivity, the motorbikes as early as possible must be released to the extension officers. And then the last but not the least is about, yes, it is about you farmers. It's about you farmers. So don't shout, you know. Don't shout. It's about you farmers. Sorry, madam. Just the last one. Now that they say the Canadian government is assisting the extension officers, then the TNTs must also be given in time so that they could also go around. The TNTs have now rather come down. The TNTs are now come down. Well, at the appropriate platform, I think these things will be released. Thank you.
You talk more about that. Thank you very much. The motorbikes have no business in Accra. Really, they must be released. Next. Yes.
Is it good afternoon? Good. Mr. Chairman, my dear farmers. All right. My name is Yawa Santi. And we have this presentation on a data platform for farmers. Who is the farmer? How can we identify the farmer? And what support can the ministry or the government, the investors, provide to the farmer? We are always talking about the smallholder farmer. How can we get to the smallholder farmer? So you have this platform developed by a Ghanaian called Electronics Agriculture Data and Payment Platform. Meaning we are picking agriculture data, linking it up with a payment platform to enable the financial institution able to support our smallholder farmers. What is the year-adapt? It's a matter of linking all the value chain actors in the agriculture sector onto one single platform. We are bridging the gap to enable all the actors identify themselves and be able to interact. That's the most important. And once that is done, I believe we will be able to support agriculture in the country. This morning, Dr. Charles mentioned something about data. This system is made up of 5 main models. We have the KYC, the farmer's intention, the yield updates, input distribution, payment platform, and then the backup. That together give us the year-adapt, or Electronics Agriculture Data and Payment Platform. The KYC, which I'll give you a bit detail, is to register all the farmers. On this platform, we call farmers actors. Register them, then have the identity. And this registration is made up of a card. Take up the fingerprint, which I will demonstrate a bit. Then we have the farmer's intention. The intention to collect the farmer's aspiration for the next farming season. And this will generate the farmer's budget for any investor, the financial institution, to be able to support the individual farmers. Once the farmer has been supported, we have to follow up the farmer so that we can get the yield update to support the investor's decision that he has made. Then the input distribution, how the input is going to be distributed to the farmer. A gentleman said this morning that somebody collects a quantity for food fertilizer subsidy, the next morning it's across the border. But this, whoever is receiving that particular input will be identified. Then all this will be linked up to a payment platform. Now, this is the main project concept, the data and the financial flow chart. With this, we have the farmer, the KYC data collected, the farmer's intention collected to generate the farmer's budget. With this, we have what we call the fund manager, who actually will take a decision of supporting the farmer. It could be a financial institution. Because once the financial institution has your data, it's very easy for that institution to actually take a decision on you. This will allow the fund manager to source for investment. When the investment is acquired, announcement is made to the fund manager, and this investment is put into a financial pool. In this financial pool, that is where all activities are going to be done. Once this is done, information can be given to the year-adapt, then transmit that particular information onto the farmer's card. Unfortunately, I don't have a card here. Onto the farmer's card. And this will enable the farmer move to any agro input distributor registered on the platform to collect his input. Once that is done, collect the input, then that information can be sent back to year-adapt to enable the system make payment to the input distributor through the financial switch of Bank of Ghana. Once that is done, the farmer, after the farmer cultivating, he can then send the input to a warehouse. This morning, everybody is talking about warehouse. Send the commodity to the warehouse. Aggregators can take up a decision of buying from the warehouse. Once that is done, whatever money accrued from the aggregator paid into a pool, then he can supply the aggregator. From there, we can be able to pay the farmer. So in this case, we are having the financial inclusion of the farmer. And there's no actually money circulating. All is what? Cashless transaction. Then can pay the year-adapt with the warehouse and then aggregators and investors. Now, I just want to give you a brief of what we have in terms of this particular system. We have the window app, the web app, the Android app. We have the web-based application. We have the server-based application. And we have the payment platform. Together, this we call the year-adapt. Whilst we are all here, we need to give you a brief, just a brief. Give me a small time, please. We are talking about an agent who goes to the field with a particular gadget. We are talking about equipment. We talk about sensitization. Everything basically is the sensitization. And this, our project also is looking at data collection, data processing, then data storage. Once we have all this, we sincerely believe that whoever needs a particular information on a particular farmer to be able to support the farmer can have this information. However, we have a few more, but I could see that my lady is just on my neck. I don't know if you give me some 2 minutes to add some few things. Now, I will just give you the mode of registration. We have the field agents moving straight away to the farmer's home, getting the farmer's KYC data onto the year-adapt system, sending this information onto the database with a link with Ghana Post digital address system. With this information, we'll be able to generate the farmer's home address in the digital address, the Ghana Post digital address system. With this, investors will actually be able to identify who that farmer is, where that farmer lives. And this can also be done with the farmer's land field. With this, then we can then verify the information of the farmer's legal ID with various institutions like health insurance, national identification, and the rest, to ensure that the data that we are collecting on that particular farmer is authentic and everybody can use it. I think because of the time, I will try to hold my breath here. We are here. We are Ghanaian. We also want to help agriculture. We know Planning for Food and Jobs can actually use this system to identify whoever they want to identify. We are also having a serious discussion with Peasant Farmers Association to see how best we can register farmers in their association. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Kweku Samuel Nobo. I work with Bayer as the smallholder farming manager for Ghana. Personally, I feel so ashamed as a Ghanaian that our extension services is being financed by the Canadian government. Because food is very important for every nation, and if the government is serious about our healthcare and our welfare, we should be able to finance at least everything that have to do with food production in the country. Nevertheless, since morning, also been hearing that yes, we have an issue with extension. I don't know how much the ministry is thinking about the e-agriculture system. Maybe using, because every farmer today has a mobile phone, so that instead of personnel, can we be able to use technology? I know there are tools available for information to be passed to farmers for us to be able to do this. And also, the ministry is going around, yes, helping farmers to increase production. And then also in the rice sector, we see a lot of development going on in the country. And like the secretary said, why is government not able to say that we are reducing rice import by this percentage? Because if you go to Nigeria today and you want to eat rice, it will be the local rice. If you don't like it, that means you are not going for rice. Once that demand pool is created, smallholder farmers will have a lot of business because everybody will be pushed to produce because there's huge demand in the country. So why is government not able to put restrictions on the quantity of imports? Is there, I really do not get it sometimes, because is there something that restricts government or prevent them from taking such bold decisions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. I will beg you to give me 3 minutes instead of 2. Mr. Minister, nananom mpanimfo ayame de sene mabegina monim ha na mekasa na de enti sese me pese me yusu me madatang no say makogina ho ama Ministry of Agriculture na medican actually me din ye frame nanam ya omanu me National Vice President Peasant Farmers Association. Now, I'm say me pese me bisa questions be for a free minister ho. And it's salusuna emrebi a champon sisi ye and ye food distribution no. And nadia na ye de ye. Na nase obeye one district, one warehouse. There also be you. I'm saying maybe I can President Kufuor pencil or the tractors be brave by instead obechama akuafo nketoano yanso ye betim de bia ya adwuma no tractors no gu hosa akopim se ne term no ekwa wie ya aban foforo bae e bae no em se ajami edru samre no ministers binum e de sabi onum dibia ebe che tractor no fai yenhu kwanya efa so a peasant farmers ye betimi enya bi na mebisa se sesei no aban asa kratrata no bi abegu ho na se na daachi obi abecha afa ana se oboa peasant farmers association said the yenso ye benya trata no bi na de aye yendwuma de tosu bio me yansa efa Elvan worms na asem no Army worms rather Stambia Mr. Charles Ebeko Joy FM Obeko Akokasa no Nanam ye wahuna man from Ministry of Agric onum kokan asem bi local FM stations no a onum ka twi no ye be frame me throughout the country nana say na abanya Canadian na so mo dwuna fa ho peasant farmers na de me hu wo Army worms no ayi no say da bia me ka kire FM stations no say ye betimi atu ase a ye akuafo nketo e de yefo no ya na ensoso emwa no le wonum x no gu aburo no ni nuanom enti se nka wutwa aburo no a bomodin ase obeboaboa na yina na wahye ni nyina na ansa na obedua aburo no so no wa spray land no so say eno betimi me kire mpanimfo bi no bebre ana sa ayi yaza asasi a yedi dua enema no se de papa bi begina ha na wo ka no me ye cashew farmer tambia me kire kwan a ye fa so yedua cashew ana asasi a ye ma cashew enti na me gina ha se obi pese odua cashew a asasi a wodua banche a ono a enyeye no ena yedi dua cashew asasi a ebo abo wom ene na yedi dua cashew ukofa fertile land bia te say western region de yedi bia kokoo no wudua cashew no be ya ha bebre bete ntimi nso enti me said de be ya memre no mami wo me bom bati no mesre say minister wo me say minimo aduma mo de nanso aduma me ye no se je se mo fa me aduma na mo pia meka anya sa de mo ye no edoso pa
for into first one silos na a champion CC you know. So he wants to know, the minister will explain what he wants and answer the representative.
Thank you very much. And I so make a tree. I say silos no normally are warehouses ne silos no baby or silos in the warehouses in na and the ministry you know take stock of all this we say silos, if including the cocoa board for warehouses no. We take stock of that. And I shall say you rehabilitate in kakra. Say sika ni ho. It is nya sika every baby kakra na you rehabilitate. The bra me presentation no. Utu say make asem say I forgotten the number but be 20 or whereabout has been rehabilitated. In the bibia yegu so kakra. Because you nim say odo say ye ka no. Marketing ni ho. Na say yentumi anye we absorb angu and processing ye na amfa silos no na antumi ama and control prices na the bia ekwafo beboka nti bibia e wo aban efe ne sen na koma so se obeye na tractor asem yi de em say eno re so chemi o eno so chemi but ya minim ne say let me say, no meeting be a minister home. Na minister can say, well, who say bulk of the farmers no, only smallholders. Na so I've been tractor kesi na omo de plow any harrow no cra. This time no we make it just be limited number no. Now ama do no na yen kakra capacities ni so ah between smallholder farmers no cra kasa cra between acquire no ma e dey no obe promote. Even though obe promote fencing I can see no but we make it just en keto aron so they are eba no be brebe ka ho as smallholder farmers monsa beka na ami na pato ami wem issue no there and so they are grow last year I think there was a task force. In fact, the minister constituted a task. You know, minister constituted a task force. Involving all stakeholders. or catch them say the other show we no say terms of reference share how best that be to me I manage army worms no in 2018. In fact, task force no year Juma papa. Now I think I was even in Tamale. Now one of the officials of the PPRSD a presentation on it. Recommendation they say so far there are 6 insecticides. 6 insecticides, or I should say 6 control measures I don't know say very effective for army worm. And I feel so much me sika or me stockpile a lot of chemicals. Between the effective against the army worm. Now me the most idea I have me I am monitoring. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture and say I share we no must you share district assemblies now say they are separate. They are under the local government. To be fair, say monitoring so yeah one thing. If you are policy, because you say now say, but they do districts now. In fact, having direct responsibility or oversight on the district director of agriculture or Department of Agriculture, and no, very very difficult. I would say district chief executives, no, any regional ministers, so they hold them responsible. So because it's almost on mass. There don't see one problem
Thank you. So Niakano, or say person omojo na omo employ no moma we juma because wait to me at church and crofobia how to manage the fall army worm. I know your pon now we share no way chihonom na maka no terms of reference.
Thank you very much. My name is Emilia Gansa from Gao. Me pacho menso make a tree. Me pese me busa question. NAFCO ne dwuma ne sen. Me de na minim se anka ye kuayo no ne no bae ne ba na edoso a ombeto efie ekuafo no ho na mete ntia na me bisa no so omonso asublete ase ye de adwuma na ma other agents and omoko farmers no ho no makoto no omoko they want to beat the price so down nti esa na enye adwuma me pa cho question. My second question. Okay. I wanted to find out what exactly was the job of NAFCO, the buffer stock, and what exactly it's doing. Because I heard that they've subletted to agencies who now go to the farmers to buy from the farmers. And they beat the prices so down that the farmers are not also willing to sell to NAFCO. So what is the use? I mean, if it is not going to work, why will NAFCO still be there? The second question is on the fall army worms. We keep on talking about chemicals, and we are talking about our soil system. Are we not sure that in the bid to kill the worms or the insects, we will end up destroying our soils? Me pacho mi bisa ni tree. Fall army worms no. Yesi ye di eduro. Farmers nyina ene eduro no, ene chemicals no. Yenye sure safe chemicals no, anase eduro no. Ye di bekum mmoawa na ewo asase ni mu a ema ndobae no e banana. Question to answer. Thank you.
NAFCO no. Omo adwuma ne say the farmers produce. That's the ebroswa. Now almost 12 farmers for normal store. So, Bruni Becca say, they can say at least it me regulated prices. No? Time your friend say demand and yeah high, maybe the beer boom, at least not a regulated prices, not farmers in the beer are profitable amount. Now I'm saying NAFCO staff na a skeletal. That is the end of me almost staff no almost also. Because of that, no, I was almost extending almost tentacles. In Tianuntina, I register some licensing companies. We say, marketing, no, and more. Now, to see how me problem I may want to say, me that terms of reference, no? Oh, that terms of reference, I don't know, I'll say a question. Because if you are not, a woman say, I was saying, if you are want to again within this price range. And so, licensing buying companies now call farmers now. For all you know, someone when in Ghana corruption, no open low price. Open low price, and so a farmer and so I do the Bemano. Madam, Pachawa Kamati. And says our problem where there was a cost for Hona, share the way activities of now on the ground. So that there will be a win-win situation. You thought the anything farmer no now why you willing to sell at an agreed price. Okay. But you follow me well. I said, my catcher was say there are 6 ways to be out. Now, neem extracts, right? I can't remember all of them in hand. Your organic, some of them are organic, and they don't say inorganic. It's chemicals don't quite use. If you want to say organic, I will use. So no, any effect you are on it.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My question is, planning for food and jobs, no? This is to the minister, but planning for food and jobs, no? Because all grounds are typical farmers, but in Kranza South. South, do papa, Yankada, with the door, this guy can. No problem, they want to say, because one my fellow that your door, time you do say better in your 20 or bar, fella that tinting, not tinting, seeing me. Ube 100 bars, no way near 45 bars. Won't mean to yaka. In the planning for food and joy, a best sustain pa, a big year. Home pay NGOs no on make carry to say or carry cash you any cocoon. And yes, who is kind bad because you are done. Do or what you fell out. Ya be a channel, well, going to come up Bruhia bar to Nihi bar. Ya will say a Bruhi are butter. Or more to do in the sense of being 100 bars. No, I could not 70. Enter to your canoe. Now, your peasant farmer association, ya done, ya could yesiga, yesiga, ya to a crack of one. Because you are on which a member, near Kuyiska Kutria. Now, what I say? Because you've known what say, encourage your mom bedroom. Because one or bedroom, no, Boca, will be Johnny. Because you are only by me or about me feel anyway. Now I bet I say, in the orbit now, and our donor year, or we join our bitchy fewer. In the planning for food, enjoy based in a bay sustainable party. Home pet NGOs. Now, about Munkeria Bunu, one career, home by Yaya Yankusiaga, Medasi.
Last person, and then we wrap up.
Yo.
So we'll recap what they are saying. Ben is coming to do that for me when they are.
Where you come, yeah, Papa, Minister for this thing, agriculture, planting for food and jobs, no. A buy and nay in the pa. But last year, fertilizer no buy no. Input no, Mimidri Street. Omodiko guho, ye kwa jino mo catch and say. Major season need there enye juma mo farm maye. It's a minor season. But minor season in social as say obiye dwane. Obiye dwane e jai minor season obiye ampese say ewia ejuma no kra na obeye biem because we ya nsuo nto. No aboka. Na saa bre no so o man farm ba na o man farm me no mo de come start time na ogia udua na so udigu na anya ya obeye den tuaka. Ebiem ye besere mo. Se fertilizer no se ya mo de be ma yende a at least nka January die first year no starting na January first month na starting na nka mo ye ho hyehyeye by the end of February nka normal na sha se nka mo supply but se mo tenasia na ko April aya na ha adwen papa because se sia no se sia ye ka sei mo abetwetwere nko Emma ye ubefa ha Regina when are you focal person mo say eba ye ntwen eba emma unhuna sema won kan kire nkrofo nti ye sere mo say mumwa ye na ebeba at least first week of March no na nka input na nka ma supply na nipa na hu say manya input say e was say mitimi di ye mafuo say na aboa ye medamase.
So I want to touch what Vitus said from Nkranza South. according to him, he said when it comes to Nkranza South, Town Corner, and Nkuma, they are peasant farmers, and actually they work a lot with their strength. They've been working all the years with their strength, no mechanization. But when this program, Planting for Food and Jobs, was introduced, what they realized was actually they went in for the inputs. Their productivity in one way or the other was increased. But issues of marketing was a challenge, because when traders come, especially to their farm gate, the way of buying their, especially maize, they come with tall sacks, even taller than he himself. So weighing becomes a challenge there. So most of the time, farmers go in like 2 acres or 3 acres or any acre, thinking that by this acre, I'll be able to offset the amount I'm owing government. But at the end of the day, because of the weighing challenges and the cheating on the part of the traders, farmers are getting lesser number of bags to pay. So if the ministry wants to achieve their aim with respect to the marketing pillar or the planting of food, then they should ensure that there are standards. And as we know, like when it comes to Ghana, we do bag cocoa, we do bag cashew. They should also treat them as peasant farmers and bag their maize, so that they will not, the different traders will not come with different sacks or bags to buy their maize. That is the standardization aspect. And on Regina's issue, she's touching on the arrival of the inputs, because they also have their own calendar with respect to farming. And they do prepare their land in accordance to what they believe will help them. So if government say they are coming to subsidize input, then they are begging on the ministry to please buy into their time as well. Because if you give them the inputs at later days, they are running at a loss. So according to her, if hopefully by January, at the start of the year, the fertilizers and the inputs are in or they've arrived, it will really help them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. We take our closing remarks from the chair. Han?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've had a fruitful discussion today from the fine research from the research officers. The findings were what they uncovered when they talked to the various partners in the districts on the ground. You are also the farmers. You disagree on some of the findings. You also agree with some of them. But the point that we take home today is that there are solutions to our difficulties. There are solutions that farmers can adapt themselves to practicing that will enhance what you do. So let's not only lament on the things that government. We are business people. You invested your money. So if government is not coming or it's not making the policy framework that will allow you to reap the potential returns, find ways of doing it. I said in the beginning that government resources are limited, and the competitive angles pushing for that resource to be allocated every which ways. So it's never going to reach everybody. It's never going to cover all the things that we need to do. But as business people, how do we collectively, and that's why you have an association. If we empower the association to be effective, there's no way that the Secretariat cannot work with you on policy framework that we together can create a policy reforms that will enhance some of the things that we do. Some of you talked about fertilizers, and I think one person raised a question, don't we think excessive application of fertilizers can sometimes be injurious to the same soil that we're trying to enrich? We have to know the best practices. Sometimes we don't even test the soil to see if it's suitable for that crop. We just apply fertilizers because it's subsidized. Some of us also don't believe in subsidy for fertilizers. Some years back, the Ministry of Agriculture owed the fertilizer company 1/3 of their budget. 1/3 of their budget was owed to a fertilizer company. And if we're talking about post-harvest losses, that run between 35 to 55% on some of these crops, then subsidizing fertilizer to increase productivity for high yields that are going to waste is subsidizing waste. You, the farmers, we have to look at ways to make it possible that we reap the best that the government can provide for us. You, the backbone and breadbasket for Ghana. So you have to look at ways that you can do. Let's not always look at, because it's there, I'm going to take it and use it. It might come back to haunt you and haunt your business. But if you build your technical skills and capacities, if you learn to do things right, and depend on sharing and learning of information, learning and sharing, it's very critical we know the information. We know the critical, pertinent information that can assist us. Because we cannot cast a blind eye and expect to be able to do efficient business. So it's up to us. Today is the first day. We come back tomorrow to continue. But let's go sleep on what we heard today and come back to enrich ourselves tomorrow. I thank you very much for coming, and take you back home. Bless you.